up guys, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos, and let's get started. So it's finally that time of year where we're getting into the holiday 2020 collections. I can't believe it, this year has flown by, but I am very excited to start sharing with you guys like the winter/holiday stuff. So I'm starting off today with the OPI Shine Bright collection, which is for holiday 2020. As you guys may have seen, we already reviewed their fall winter collection, so I'll link that up in the cards if you guys missed it. But yeah, today's gonna be pretty cool because we've got 15 shades to go over, and it's actually not at all what I expected from OPI. I think this collection is very different, so I am really interested to hear what you guys think of these. But yeah, if you guys haven't heard of OPI before, they're a pretty big brand. They are free, meaning they are free of 3 of the dangerous chemicals that are often found in nail polish, and they are a mainstream salon brand. So we may as well just get started, and then I can tell you guys my thoughts, the pricing, availability, all that good stuff, so roll footage. So as always with my swatch and review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches. Today I am using the Cuccio base coat, so I'll link it down below for you guys. So first up in this collection, we have the shade Let's Take an Elfie, which is a dark, very warm, purpley, almost like a pinky base that has a really intense, cool-toned purple shimmer running throughout. So you can really see how warm that base color is on the first coat, but once I put on that second coat, I could see how contrasting that very cool-toned shimmer was as it runs throughout. So when the light hits it, you definitely get that cool tone, but in indirect lighting, you get that warm tone. So it's really cool. I love contrasting shimmers like this where you have a warm base and a cool shimmer, or vice versa, and I think it's just so cool because in any light it looks like it can be a totally different color. Even here you can see the 2 light sources look like they're different shades of shimmer in there. Next up we have the shade Dress to the Wines, which is a dark cranberry red base that has a pearlized silvery shimmer running throughout, and it's definitely one of the streakier finishes. I think there are a lot in this collection, but since OPI is so opaque, the way that I like to do this is the first coat I will just apply for opacity, and I don't mind being sloppy with my brush strokes, and then the second coat I will go in and be very careful with my brush strokes to make sure that they look even and nice. So here that is in 2 coats. Like I said, it is a bit streaky, but I feel like that kind of gives me a holiday vibe, so I really like it. Next we've got another red. This one's called Merry in Cranberry, and this is more of like a candy apple red base, and this one actually has a bright pink shimmer running throughout. So this one, again, it did have just a touch of that pearlized finish, but it was not as streaky as the last one. Still, I did end up applying it the same way. A lot of these are really just 1 coat opacity, so the second coat you just want to be careful to make sure that those brush strokes look nice. Honestly, for some of these I wouldn't even add a second coat if it weren't for making those brush strokes look nice and even. But yeah, this is just another really fun color. I feel like this is a classic any time of year shade, and I love that it's both pinky and reddish. Next up we have the shade Ready for the Holidays, and this, believe it or not, is the only cream finish in this entire collection of 15 nail polishes, and it is a super bright classic red cream. I absolutely love OPI reds, and I think that they're probably my favorite brand for red nail polishes, so I'm glad to see that they decided to include one in this collection. This one in particular is full 1 coat opacity. I thought it was going to be a little bit jelly-like and sheer, but it ended up being a full cream, super full coverage, really easy to work with, smooth, self-leveling, and just, I mean, a gorgeous classic red color. I can never resist adding another OPI red to my collection. I really love them. Next up we have this shade is Ornamental, which is a really interesting, I feel like it's almost like a coral base that has a silvery, icy pink pearlized shimmer running throughout. And this is another one that's pretty much opaque in 1 coat. I just did the second coat to get those nice smooth brush strokes. And this one at first glance, I felt like this was way more of a summery color, but for some reason, this pearlized finish really does make me think of like winter and of the holidays. I guess it just adds a little bit of iciness that you wouldn't otherwise see in a coral shade like this. And again, we have that really nice contrast between a warm base and a cool shimmer, so I just think it looks pretty cool. This is 2 coats for full coverage. Next up we have the shade Snow Falling For You, which is another very bright shade. This one in the bottle looked like more of a bright salmon pink shade, and again it does have that white pearlized shimmer running throughout, but once I applied this on the nail I could see that it was actually a lot lighter and a lot more shimmery and pearly than it looked in the bottle. So what you're looking at here is direct lighting, so you can really see a lot of that bright pearliness to it, but in the shade you can definitely see a little bit of that coral color. This one, I'm not sure that it's exactly a wintry color for me, but again, I do like that pearlized finish this time of year. I think it's pretty fun, and this is definitely different from what I've seen before for OPI winter collections, so I'm pretty excited about it. Next up we have the shade Naughty or Ice, which is a very light beige, icy, frosty kind of shimmery shade here. It does have that pearlized base to it, and then it also has little silver flecks running throughout. Honestly, on my nails, it matched my skin tone pretty well to the point where it actually just kind of looked white on me. And in the first coat, it was pretty sheer. In the second coat, I did end up getting full coverage for this type of polish. You could still see some visible nail line, but this is the way that I like to wear these icy, frosty type of colors. I think they actually did a pretty good job with this one. Normally I feel like it's hard with the glitters, it almost makes it look chunky, but I feel like this actually kind of works out well. Somehow those flakes just don't get buried in the color and don't look like chunks, so I do like that. Next up we have the shade This Gold Slays Me, which is a really fun gold pearlized polish here. Again, we have that same kind of super streaky finish, and honestly I do love this color, but I feel like it does not suit my skin tone at all. It really just didn't work for me, which I'm actually super sad about. I feel like OPI does such beautiful gold shades, especially around this time of year, and I feel like, I don't know, there's something about the undertones that just make me look a little sickly, and I'm not sure why I feel that way. Maybe it's just in my head, but it is a really beautiful color, very streaky, so I did try to even that out in the second coat, but yeah, I mean, I think I could probably still use it for nail art. Next up in this collection, we have the shade Gingerbread Man Can, and this one was a surprise favorite for me. I really loved it. It's definitely another one of those contrasts where it's like a warm base with a cool shimmer. So we've got this dusty pinky brown base color, and then we have this really intense icy blue silver shimmer running throughout. It does have a tiny bit of that pearlized finish, but less than some of the others in this collection, and I don't know, I feel like maybe I'm just letting my imagination get away from me again, but I feel like it looks like a snow-covered bark on a tree, or like, you know, those trees that have like a little bit of those like white streaks in it. That's what this looks like to me, and I think it looks so gorgeous on the nail. Perfect opacity in 2 coats and just so easy to work with. Next up we have the shade Tinsel Tinsel Little Star, which is kind of the cool toned version of the other pearly frosty finish that we had, and this one's kind of in a purpley silver base. Again, we have that pearlized base, and then we have the little flecks of silver running throughout, and this one honestly looked very similar on my nails. Again, it almost just looks kind of white, although this one definitely does have a cooler tone on me, and it's kind of the same finish. It looks the same. I think it's very cute. You do still get some visible nail line through, but it's a fun color. I don't know that you necessarily need both of them, but I would just pick, if you prefer cool tones, I would grab the cool tone, and if you prefer the warm tones, I would grab the warm tone. I am going to be comparing all of them at the end, so stay tuned for that if you want to see the differences. Next up we have the shade To All a Good Night, which is a very dark slate blue glittery polish that has all different kinds of little silvery flecks running throughout, and this is a type of polish that I think we see almost every year from OPI, so I wasn't like super excited to see it. I love some of the previous iterations of this color that we've had so far, and this one was pretty cute, but it was nothing totally unique or special for me. I did end up doing 2 coats, but looking at it now on the swatches, I feel like I definitely should have done a third because it looks a little patchy on the top there, but yeah, I think I prefer some of the previous years that they have done this type of shade for. Next up we have the shade Heart and Coal, which I was really excited about. It's a very dark grayish, almost black shade. It actually does have that pearlized streaky shimmer running throughout, and then it has this scattered hollow glitter running throughout as well. So I was very interested to see how this would actually look on the nail, because in the bottle it definitely looks like a glitter bomb. On the nail it's more subtle, but but I honestly love the way that it looks. I think it just, anytime you move your nails, you're gonna get a little bit of that glittery vibe, but other than that, it just looks like a regular black pearly kind of polish. It's not as streaky as the other shades. I just think, I don't know, this is definitely very unique and fun. So I was really happy to see it, and I was happy to see that it looked cool on the nails. Next up, we have the shade Puttin' on the Glitz, and this is another kind of grayed out blue shade, and it's almost like a jelly-like base that has these thicker iridescent flakes running throughout. So this one is very unique in my opinion for OPI. This definitely feels more like an indie style to me. It reminds me a little bit of the Cirque Colors Candy Coat collection. The formula on this is very different though. It was a little bit harder to work with, but I think overall the effect was really cool. I ended up putting on top coat for this swatch just because it was a little lumpy and bumpy, and I wanted to show you guys what it would look like as an actual manicure. So here it is with the top coat. I think it's definitely a really cool idea. Personally, I don't think I did a great application job because it was a little bit more difficult than expected, but I love the idea behind it. Next up, we have the shade Bling It On, which I thought was just going to be the light blue version of the same style of polish, but this one is actually, again, we have that almost like pearly base to it, and then we also have these larger iridescent flakes running throughout, and these flakes are a little bit softer. This one I actually ended up liking better. I think because of the other shimmer that was in this base, it ended up just being a smoother formula and easier to work with. Again, it was a little bit lumpier, so I ended up putting on top coat just so you could see what it looks like as like a complete manicure. And I know that not everybody is gonna like this. I think a lot of people are gonna think it looks a little bit chunky, but I do really think it looks interesting. It feels like it's given me some Elsa vibes. I think it's definitely interesting. It's lighter than I expected it to be, but you could always put this over a similar blue base to make it a little bit deeper. And finally, we have the shade All a Twitter in Glitter, which is an iridescent glitter topper. So we've got the larger hex glitters as well as mini ones. So I'm just showing you what it looks like over the naked nail because lately I've been really into the way that looks, and I think it is pretty cute, but I'm also going to be showing you guys, of course, over black so you can see those iridescent flakes definitely look different over any color that you decide to put it over. Here you can see, I don't know why I put so much on the nail, but I really just wanted it to look like a crazy glitter bomb, and somehow I was able to do that in just one coat. And I know it looks super thick, but that's just because we're really zoomed in on my nail here, but it ends up actually looking really gorgeous over black. I love all of the little iridescent colors that they have in there. It's definitely a very pretty topper, and I think it would be so fun to experiment over a bunch of different colors. So here's the full collection together, all 15 of them, and I have to say, looking at them all together, they really did a good job making this a very cohesive collection. I will say I'm a little bit surprised to see that overall they're a lot lighter than I expected, and I usually associate holiday colors to be like the more dark jeweled tones, but I actually really like these. I think that the majority of them are really cute, and I think it's different from what I expected OPI to come out with, so I really like seeing brands trying something different. So yeah, that is the collection, and honestly, pretty surprised in general with it. I was actually really impressed. I know a lot of people always say that, you know, they see the same things coming from brands every single year and every single season, so I was really excited to see that OPI kind of stepped out of that with a few different things. One being they only had one cream in the entire collection, the rest were kind of these shimmery pearlized shades, and then we also had those really interesting shades at the end. We had that scattered hollow, we had the glitter flaky chunks, that's not a great way to describe it, and then we also had that really beautiful iridescent glitter. So I'm definitely excited to see them branching out. I know not everybody is gonna like this type of collection, but I do love seeing, especially when mainstream brands try something a little bit different, and to me it feels like with those last few polishes at least they were going for a more indie vibe. Definitely reminded me of Cirque's Candy Coat collection from last year, which I was absolutely obsessed with. I don't think that OPI necessarily got the formula absolutely right, but I do love the effort, and I would love to see them like continue to explore those options. And also, I just want to say, I know I've mentioned it before, but OPI's brush is my favorite nail polish brush of all time. Like if every brand had the OPI brush, I feel like I would just be the happiest person in the world. I feel like they really just have the right width that it doesn't feel too thick, but it's also like flat. It's very easy to use. I don't know if you guys know, but my entire tower is OPI except for well, the top row is whatever I'm reviewing, but the rest of the tower is OPI because I feel like that's always like the brand that I grab to paint on when I just like need a polish really quick, because I always know that their brush is going to be just so dependable. So these polishes come in the standard 15 milliliter bottles, and they are available anywhere that OPI is sold. I personally get mine from HB Beauty Bar. There they retail for $9 USD each, and you can also use the code KELLI to get 22% off your entire order there. But yeah, I would love to hear from you guys. What do you think of this collection? Are you excited to see them branching out, or would you rather them, you know, keep it simple and keep it classic? Let me know in the comments. You know, I always love to chat with you guys. If you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please give this one a thumbs up. Always lets me know I'm doing a good job. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. And I also do an Amazon live stream every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, where I do some live nail art tutorials. So if you guys ever want to check that out, I always have them linked in my community tab. But yeah, I guess that's it for this video. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Today's fun fact question comes from Patreon supporter Terry, and Terry wants to know, where do you get your inspiration for your general manicures? Are you inspired by a color or a design/art? So that's actually a great question, and I think it differs depending on the situation. So a lot of times, you guys probably know that I love collections. Like, I love a full nail polish collection, and I feel like in general, if a collection is very cohesive but the colors are different enough, it always inspires me to do nail art using those. Other ways that I get inspired, honestly, anytime I see an interesting pattern or texture, I always take a picture of it, and then I just have a folder of inspiration on my phone where I kind of just scroll through and see what stuff I like. I also follow a ton of nail artists on Instagram, so I'm always inspired by them as well. Yeah, I mean, I really think it's a lot of things. Sometimes I will just see a color and I'll be like, oh, I need to do nail art with this, but I don't know what. And then I'll just kind of like play around. I always end up practicing on paper. I actually keep a notepad here. Actually, I don't want to show you because I have some nail art designs on here that I haven't shown you yet. But I do keep a little notepad here. If you guys watch my live streams, you've seen the notepad before, but I'll always like try something out on paper. And sometimes I'll do like a few different ideas and see what works the best. And then that's what ends up on my nails. So if you guys ever want like a whole video of that could be interesting. I wonder if I have any old ones around. I usually throw out the paper once I do the design because I don't want it like laying around. Yeah, I think all the ones that I have over here are all designs that I haven't done yet, so I don't want to show you yet. But yeah, I'll save a piece of paper. If you guys ever want to see that, I can save it and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. But yeah, that is it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!